it is time for my April reading wrap-up, and April was such a depressing month for reading. Hello, welcome, my name is Leah. This is my channel, Dirty Little Literate, where I like to talk about books that are disturbing, disgusting, awkward, etc., what have you. And normally I don't particularly like to talk about books that suck, but that's kind of what's going on with the April reading wrap-up. Not across the board, but 50% of the books I read this month sucked. The first one I'm hardly even really going to get into because it was one that I mentioned in my last month's reading wrap-up, and that is House of Leaves by Mark Danielewski, and I had not finished it last month. I hadn't even gotten halfway last month, so I talked a bit about it. I ended up reading, hundreds and hundreds of pages of this, 600 or so page book in this month, so I feel like that took up a lot of reading time because I was so thoroughly not enjoying it. I did not get as much time reading enjoyable books to tell you about as I would hope. I'm just here to report on the outcome of my experience. I'm not going to get into what the book is about again because you can go watch that in the other video. I had hoped that continuing to read the book, eventually there was going to be a moment where everything kind of started clicking in terms of like, okay, you know what, this is a good book, or you know what, this had something to offer me. There was something at the end that I liked a little bit better than the rest of the book, but ultimately I could never recommend that you read this book. It was pulling teeth. It was, I hated the experience of reading it. A lot of people like it. I don't get it. Okay, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Let's not even talk about it anymore. Let's just move on to the next book. The next book is Pizza Girl by Kyoung Frazier, and I loved this book. So April was not shitty across the board. It was just shitty most of the time, but not when I was reading Pizza Girl. This book was so awesome. It was not too heavy as some of the books that I discuss are. It wasn't overly violent or crazy or anything like that. In parts it was a little like, oh, weird, gross, awkward, but ultimately such a fun read. So this story is about an 18-year-old pizza girl who is pregnant and not in a great place in her life. She is not excited about being pregnant. She's not excited about her boyfriend. She's not excited about her mom. And so her home life is not the best, not because anything bad is going on there, but just because she's just not feeling it. Her dad is deceased, but he was a severe alcoholic. She's afraid that that's the path that she's going down too because she is drinking heavily while pregnant. So not the best, but this book focuses on the relationship between our pizza girl and this middle-aged mother that is a customer at the pizza place. And every week our pizza girl goes and delivers a pizza to her that is especially made with pickles, which is what they do not normally do, but for her, she'll give her pickles because she is enamored with this woman and ultimately becomes very obsessed with this woman. They have kind of this weird, unconventional friendship, although she's definitely feeling it more than a friendship. She's obsessed with this middle-aged mom's bouncy ponytail. She's picturing them running off into the sunset with her future baby and this middle-aged mom's child, even though she's married. And it's just a book in which you can tell that the character is not rooted in reality. She's also just a weirdo. She'll tell us about, crushes that she's had in the past and how she's handled those. Like, she will name every individual strand of hair on your head if she likes you, and I just kind of like that vibe. I just like a weirdo. So this was a really fun one. I suggest this to all of you. Go check it out. Don't make me talk about this next book. Crash by J.G. Ballard. Oh, fuck this book. Fuck this book. It is a book about people who are sexually aroused by violent car crashes. I am scheduling to release a video on this book, and I talked about it far more than anyone needs to talk about it. It is just so in your face over and over about just how hot it is to crash your car into people and all the injuries that these people suffer from, and it just didn't do it for me. I was fully aware of what I was getting into in terms of the content, and the content was not what bothered me. It was just the way it was written felt so repetitive. I just felt like I was getting hit in the head with the same thing over and over again. the way the sexual components of it are described is not in a way that's like, not that I'm like, oh, it's so easy to make car crashes sound hot, but they didn't do it in a way that wasn't gross. Like, nobody needs to hear the word mucus 500 times, and that's not even a word I would anticipate in relation to car crashes. Ugh. I didn't feel like this book was super plot-driven. It definitely was not character-driven. And ultimately, I guess supposedly this was supposed to be some big commentary on technology and how our sexuality is getting all mixed up in there. And that's just not really what I was taking away from it as I was reading it. It's so like visceral. You're so involved in the literal things that are happening, the violence of it all, that you're just like, I can't really be bothered to think about anything else right now. This book was written in the 70s, so it's kind of, progressive is not the word that I want to use. It was just definitely like a gasp. Book about that? Book about sexual car crashes? What? Like, that's the vibe? I do not recommend it. Apparently someone else was saying that, like, the topic is horrible, but so well executed. Just in my personal opinion, I did not enjoy the way it was executed, and I would have been okay with the topic because disturbing books, I'm here for it. But yeah, execution. Didn't love, don't recommend. The final book I read this month, which, yes, I understand, not a lot of books got read this month. Between House of Leaves and Crash, I was like, don't make me read this book. But once I start, can't stop. So those took up a lot of time because I was just, using a lot of energy to like not bathe my face in acid so as to not have to keep reading them. But the last one we have is The Troop by Nick Cutter. And this was a good book in the sense that, I was not mad at reading it. It's easy reading. Well, is it easy reading? It's pretty gnarly, but in the sense that, you can kind of just breeze through it. So it's like a horror book, but like a gross horror book, in the sense that, okay, I was thinking it was going to be kind of like a book that I did a video on not too long ago, The Laws of the Skies, which is about a bunch of like children who get murdered or die in horrible ways on a field trip. So this one, the premise feels a little similar in the sense that it is a group of like these Boy Scouts who are going on a trip on an island with their scoutmaster for a few days. And I believe these boys, I want to say they're 14. And we know that something horrible is going to happen while they're on the island. We don't know exactly what. It turns out that somebody comes to the island, and this person seems very, very unwell physically and mentally, as well. So their scoutmaster is a doctor, and this man who comes to the island is severely emaciated and looks ill in a way that the scoutmaster has never seen before. And he's not sure, could it be cancer? What is going on here? This man's body looks like it's eating itself alive, and this man is commenting on how hungry he is. He is eating everything in sight, so it's crazy that he's so thin because he's eating like anything, dirt, I don't know, if there were toenail clippings in front of him, he would eat them. He would eat anything. And we find that this man has been infected with something, and basically what he's been infected with is a contagion that was created in a lab by this, I don't know, evil scientist who, was he doing this for the military? Was he doing this as a weight loss supplement? I don't know, read the book. But basically what he created is this very scary, very violent mega tapeworm-ish that it eats you alive, basically, but it's not just like a regular tapeworm in that, okay, you're losing some weight. It starts to do disgusting things to your body, and the amount of detail about the disgusting things that happen to your body, I truly cannot articulate to you. Your eyeballs are like mushing out, your skin is falling off, like everything that could happen to a human body / that can't happen to a human body because our bodies just don't do that. Like, it's happening to this man, and the tapeworm is recreating itself and laying zillions of babies, and they're coming out of your skin, and all the while you're just so hungry and gotta eat everything in sight. And first the scoutmaster gets infected, and then, oh gosh, are we all gonna get infected? The boys end up being stranded on this island because their scoutmaster is no longer able to assist them due to what happens to him. And it is these boys trying to not get infected by this horrible thing that seems like it's, you know, airborne, waterborne, every type of born. It's gonna get you. And like the man, the emaciated man on the island, once he dies, the worm like comes out of him and then starts like eating him even when he's dead. Another way in which this book is similar to The Laws of the Skies is that one of the boys is an absolute psychopath. He's violent, he's horrible, he wants to do horrible things to the other boys. One complaint I have about this book was the amount of animal cruelty. I can't get down with that. It was sprinkled throughout. Some pretty horrible things happen to animals, and I just really did not need that to happen. I don't think this book was so good that it's like worth powering through those things. I just really don't. It was a fine book. It's not something I'm gonna think about a lot throughout my life. You know, I don't know, a tapeworm book. It's the only like evil mutated worm book that you're probably going to read if that appeals to you. So yeah, you know, pick it up if it sounds good to you, but I'm not going to write home about it, you know what I mean? And honestly, I'm a little sad that I don't want to write home about it because I just feel like the April reading wrap up is so lackluster with the books that I endured this month, minus Pizza Girl. Pizza Girl, you know, maybe I'll write home about that one. That one was so cute and good. I love that one. Now, hopefully, I'm just feeling a little bit like I'm owed a better experience for May. So we'll see what happens. I have a few books that I'm going to be reading that are recommendations from viewers. So I hope I'm right in trusting you guys, but thank you so much. I hope you had an enjoyable April. I hope the books you read did not suck, and I hope you read some good books in May. I will see you next time. Bye!